Hello, my name is Hannah Jimenez, and today I will be doing a cultural presentation over Puerto Rico. I have always been very interested in this country, and I'm so excited to be able to learn more about it and to share it with you. So I hope you enjoy. To begin, I would like to start off with where Puerto Rico is located on the map. So Puerto Rico is a small island in the middle of the Caribbean. Um, it is rectangular in shape and it is located east of the Dominican Republic and southeast of Miami, Florida. And it is um, also the smallest country in the Greater Antilles, which includes Cuba, Jamaica, Haiti, and slash the Dominican Republic. Um, so the ties between U.S. and Puerto Rico. So Puerto Rico is a United States territory, and the border between the U.S. and Puerto Rico is open, and so exchanges between people, services, um, products occur all the time and can happen very easily because the borders are open between the U.S. and Puerto Rico. So how did Puerto Rico come to be? So basically, Puerto Rico came to be whenever the Caribbean tectonic plate and the North American tectonic plate crashed into each other during the Jurassic period, millions and millions of years ago. They found rocks on Puerto Rico that happened to be 190 million years old and are from the Jurassic period. Um, so Puerto Rico is basically made up of a lot of mountains and a lot of volcanoes, most of them being dormant. And that kind of brings me into my next slide, which is the topography of Puerto Rico. So a lot of people don't know that Puerto Rico is a very mountainous island, and over half, I think around 60% of it is pure mountains. But since it is an island and there's the coastal regions around the water, we also see really diverse environments, really diverse habitats like rainforests, oceans, caves, rivers, and different things like that. So a few of the places that I would want to highlight for Puerto Rico, since there's so many interesting places, one of them being the El Unique National Forest. It is a very, very diverse natural preserve. It is one of the only places in Puerto Rico that you can see a Puerto Rican parrot, which has happened to be recorded since pre-Columbian times, and it's been there for a really long time. And like I said, it is a natural preserve, so it is built to design and protect the natural and native flora and fauna of Puerto Rico. If you aren't there usually to see the parrot, it's usually the amazing and notoriously beautiful waterfalls because they have a lot of them. Okay. And the next one I wanted to highlight was the bioluminescent bays that are in Puerto Rico. It's not a rare phenomenon in Puerto Rico, but for any place else, it would seem very, very weird or very strange, but also very cool and very interesting. And it's basically all of this bioluminescent algae that hangs out in the water of Puerto Rico, and they do protect it. There's 3 bays that actually has all of this bioluminescent algae in it, and it is the Mosquito Bay of Vieques, the Fajardo, and the La Perguita. They're so hard to say, but they all light up every night. You can see all of this algae and all of these little lights, it seems like, in the water, and it looks amazing, especially if you look it up. But since it is so important to protect wildlife right now, they are protecting most of those bays, but there are still opportunities for people to go out and kayak and swim and surf, and it's super cool whenever people do. Another place I'd like to highlight is Cabrita Island. It is one of the major islands for snorkeling and scuba diving, and they have tons. It's like a feeding and breeding grounds for sea turtles. And so you can go and see all these sea turtles, and it's super, super cool, and it's one of the major attractions in Puerto Rico. Another one that I'd like to highlight is the Aguadilla. It's the only place in Puerto Rico that has a theme park in the entire island, and it also houses a lot of like tourist attractions like golf courses, and it's also the only place that has a skating rink, and it's super super cool. Some of the economy and major exported items that come out of Puerto Rico are very, very similar to the same items that come out of the United States. Some of those being medical items, chemicals, technology, and they have a lot of fuel, and they export a lot of fuel, and that's something that kind of ties into the United States because we buy a lot of fuel. But also, when it comes to their culture, they are so, so proud of who they are and what they stand for. And it seems like a lot of people from my research they appreciate the arts so much in Puerto Rico. It's amazing. And if you're anything like me, all I think of is West Side Story when I think of Puerto Rico. And it's very much like that. And they have a lot of Native American influences, Hispanic influences, Latino influences, and African influences. And they usually all tie them into their lives. And I think that connects a lot with people in the United States because so many people are not just one thing in the United States. And so we tie in a lot of our traditions of a lot of our different places that we're from. And I feel like that's one thing that really connects us to Puerto Rico as well. Also, their culture, like I stated before, is very, very artsy. The guy who created Hamilton was actually like Puerto Rican native. His family was from Puerto Rico, and they embrace art and they embrace life. And I feel like when you're comparing that to the United States, that's something we might need to do more. And that's something that they excel at. And it's so cool. It's amazing, actually. And let's see. And thank you for watching my presentation.